Hi there guys, I hope you're doing okay. Another successful review. I think it's kind of the first one you've had that's been negative in the majority. Even Mr. Nanny, the very first one we watched, was kind of 50-50 because Neil kind of was okay with it. But that's okay, you know. Sometimes they're hits, sometimes they're misses, and Neil, I'm glad you liked it. As to whether or not your sense of humour is lacking somewhat, that's not for me to say. Jesse, congratulations on getting the job interview with Microsoft and all of this nonsense and being flown out to be interviewed. I know it's kind of getting ahead of ourselves congratulating you because you don't actually have the job yet, but I don't know if this is just a culture thing, but I don't think we would fly. Companies here would just fly a college student across the country, unless it was, you know, a pretty good thing. As for your question's really tricky because I know that you kind of want us to answer for you. Like, should you go for the job or should you stay with the girl? But I can't really do that at all because but I can tell you, for me, I'm kind of a hopeless romantic kind of a character. I like the sort of Hollywood, essentially fictional portrayal of love where it should be the most important thing to you, and that's kind of how it is for me. And if it came to it, I don't think I could leave someone for a job because I would consider myself to be much happier with that person and a kind of shittier job than without that person and working in a much better job. But that's just me. I understand how tricky this situation is if you do get this job for you, and I don't envy your situation at all. I'm really sorry that there's a chance that you'll be put in that situation, and I hope whatever it is that it works out for you, whatever decision it is you make, should it come to it. Neil, you've rekindled an interest in Brazil that I've actually been getting into lately because I've been reading George Orwell's 1984, and it's a kind of Gilliam-esque adaptation of 1984 in a way. Brazil is a fantastic movie. I do have it upstairs, and I'm gonna have to watch it soon. You asked if we know any ska. I'm not a massive fan of ska. I don't have that many ska bands in my record collection, but I do have, or at least my dad has, the big ska box, which is a 3 CD collection of ska, and it's basically just the old classic ska bands like Madness. Well, Madness isn't actually on this, but yeah, I'd recommend Bad Manners, Judge Dredd, Madness, bands like that, the good old stuff. As for modern ska, I only know the Russian ska band Distemper, but I only know that through Hank and John, so you probably know about them as well. But because that's the kind of crappy answer to your question, I'm going to suggest some music just off the top of my head because you said you were looking for new music. I highly recommend you buy these two albums, or at least look up these two artists. The first is Amanda Palmer, and she just released her debut solo album towards the end of last year, called Who Killed Amanda Palmer, and I've been listening to her songs non-stop on YouTube over the last couple of weeks, and I've ordered the album. It's not came in yet, but hopefully it will be here soon because it's absolutely wonderful. She was the singer of a punk cabaret duo called the Dresden Dolls, and her solo album is just wonderful. I also read a brother-sister duo playing very strange country / blues type of music. Their debut album just came out a couple weeks ago, and their name is Joe Gideon and Shark. Joe Gideon and the Shark, and their album's Hear 'em Scare 'em, and it's amazing. It's like the most original piece of music that I've heard in such a long time. It's genuinely fantastic. I've talked about them before because I didn't meet them. I saw them play. They were opening for Nick Cave the last time I went to see him, and their set blew me away. So yeah, I recommend those two albums. Who Killed Amanda Palmer by Amanda Palmer, and Hear 'em Scare 'em by Joe Gideon and the Shark. As for me, today I've been working with this little bad boy. This is my little notebook for my graded unit, which is incredibly stressful because for my graded unit I have to produce an animation that's 1 minute to 3 minutes long on any subject that I choose, and it's really stressing me out. I have 10 weeks left to do it, which isn't a massively long time considering all the work I have to do because we've just started it. So I've still got all my planning stuff to do, and then I've got my production sketches to do, which is character development, scripting, landscape, background design, storyboards, which are going to be hellish, and then I've got to, of course, do the animation and then put together a production folder and a log. That's what this is. It's just my logbook. And it's really stressing me out because I've been trying my best to work on it, but I just keep getting distracted by everything, and it's not coming along too well at all. But no matter. Also, I get to meet Jordan's brother for the first time tomorrow. I've never met him before, and I'm meeting him tomorrow, so that'll be fun. My question for you guys is, what books are you currently reading? I currently am reading 1984, like I said, which I've tried to read a couple of times before but never really got beyond the first few pages, and now I'm about a third through. And Hunter S. Thompson's first novel, but I think possibly his last actually published. He wrote it in 1959 and it didn't get published until like 2005 or something. And it's a book called The Rum Diary, which I picked up last time I was in Glasgow. Oh! Hold on. I said to you last week that I was going into Glasgow to hopefully get my copy of Watchmen signed, and I got it. For Jake, Dave Gibbons. I managed to get there just 15 minutes before it was closing, and I was all the way down to the bottom of the shop in the queue. But thankfully the queue sped on by and I managed to get it, so I'm now the proud owner of a signed copy of Watchmen. Yes, which is nice. Jesse, don't worry if you can't get your video up tomorrow, but I'll see you whenever you do, and Neil, I shall see you on Saturday.